Okay, so hello everyone, and welcome to today, the first of today's Primperfect talks. We're having 3 talks a day. The first one, Meet the Designer, the second one, Meet the Artist, and the third one is Meet the Community. Would say I would say that there's considerable overlap between the first of these 2 talks today, because I'm talking here at 2 p.m. to Kayle Matsurath of Garden of Dreams, and at 4 p.m. Tara Lynn Gravois is going to be talking to SL11B of Caradhran's Cauldron. And of course, both of you, Kayle, are very involved in Fantasy Fair.
Yeah. Did anyone hear Saffia? I couldn't see these voice lines coming out of her head.
That's okay, you've muted sounds. You can't see me, I can't see your lines.
Oh,
no,
perfect.
Because we've muted sounds, but they can hear us, can't you? Can't you? Thank you, Burke. Okay, so Fantasy Fair. Can you tell me a little about your involvement with it and how you came to be involved?
I think it started when I did that first sim for Real Life for Life. I don't even know the year anymore. I think you know better than I what year that was.
Yeah, something like 2010.
But it was, yeah.
2011. Yeah.
Yeah, well I made a sim there, and that was pretty successful, and a friend of mine, Ember Farina, I think it was, asked me if I wanted to do a sim for Fantasy Fair 2011, I think. And since then, for 3 years, I'm doing Fantasy Fair sims now, and that's like the most amazing thing I can do every year here. I'm really loud. Hang on.
Well, probably good. You can always adjust people's volume on your own machine.
You have
actually,
to. I have no idea how to.
You have a little headset icon, I think, and if you click on that, you'll see all the active speakers in the region, and you can push Kayle down as much as you want, or up as much as you want. So if he's too loud, you can turn him down. If he's too quiet, you can bring him up. It's really handy.
Yeah, I'm not really used to that new microphone I got here. It's borrowed from a friend. I'm sorry.
So, tell us about the builds you've created for Fantasy Fair, one of which at least was really unexpected, I think.
Yeah, definitely the last one. Well, the first one was called Shifting Sands, and that was a desert-themed city, Bedouin camp-like area with tents and a lot of sand and sandfalls and a big temple in the middle.
What I loved about that one was the way you actually used sand like water. So you had the sand trickling everywhere and the sand waterfalls. It was just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, that was a thing I liked too. Hang on. This is going confusing. I got like 3 IMs popping in here all the time.
Oh gosh.
Hang on. Okay.
So
yeah, like the second one was Luminaria, which was my absolute favorite. That was for 2012, and that was a complete mesh city with hand painted textures and a big castle and a fountain in the middle. I'm really really bad in describing my own stuff. I wish I could show some pictures, but
Well, what I was say about that one was that there was a 3D animation element to it, that you could imagine it being used in a movie like Shrek or something like that, as you know, the Loyal King's village, the Loyal King's city, and you know that the population would kind of pile out of all those little houses to cheer the homecoming of the prince and princess.
yeah,
It was there was that
it was.
there was that
I
feel
was
to
planning on
it.
something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, I love animation movies, and I love everything painted and well, it's kind of a bit World of Warcraftish, and I think that's a great art style. So this is definitely something I'm going to do for some other projects. I have them already in the works, but it's taking so much time to almost hand paint all the textures.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So when you say you hand paint them, do you actually paint by hand, or do you paint in in something like Photoshop and then bring it in? I mean,
No, no.
how
If I
close to the hand does it go?
I'm really bad at painting by hand. I don't know why, but it's has always been easier for me to do 3D stuff and make it look like a painting instead of painting myself. I was painting and scribbling all my life in school and everywhere, but it was never, as I could never paint a human or something. I was painting trees all the time. That's the only thing I can do, and so I started doing that with the Garden of Dreams. So I just made trees.
Well, your trees are absolutely fantastic. And you've been creating the plants and so forth for quite a while now, haven't you? When did you come into Second Life?
Um, I know it was May. Hang on.
Pull up your
It
profile.
yeah, I had my anniversary in May. I think it was 8 years. Hang on, my profile has to say that. Why is it so slow? 2006. Yeah,
Yeah, 8 years.
I think it's 8 years ago.
Mm. So,
Yeah, and I started making terrible trees and plants at first. There were no sculpties involved, just four planes with that plant texture
oh
on them.
yes, I remember. Yes, you could have brims, or you could have kind of the texture things of putting four together, or however many
Yeah.
together. Yeah, yeah. So you said you're not much good at painting, so you do your hand painting using a software program.
Yeah, actually, I just make the things in 3D and texture them, and
Hmm.
if I take a screenshot of them, then it looks like it's painted. But
Right.
the textures themselves are not really hand painted. I started doing some real hand painting, like totally from scratch, but I'm still using some basic textures that I make that I make look painted.
Mm.
But
So
it's more work involved than it sounds.
I can I can imagine. I mean, you make incredibly detailed environments. The atelier, the little kind of Parisian loft space that you did recently is incredibly detailed and packed with different elements.
See, I'm getting kind of addicted to adding more and more details how that meshes out, and it's driving me crazy because before I was able to make like 15 scenes in 1 year, and now it
Mm.
takes me like 1 year to make two scenes, and that's not very profitable. I don't know, but it's fun to take your time.
Mm. So, when did you start making the dream scenes? You came in and you were making bad trees. At what point did this cross over into making good trees and then making the dream scenes?
I think that was my partner Christina. She started the whole battery thing. She was paying for the sim when we started the garden, and she said make trees and make that shop and waterfalls especially. So I was making like 10 different trees, and she hated them all. I couldn't see because I was making them and I thought they were super pretty. But I was trusting her, so I deleted all of them. And then someday I made like 3 trees that she liked and a few huge trees, and that was enough to put on the sim. So I think the first good trees I made were part of dream scenes, and when I figured out how to make these um, more object sculpties, like a sculpty that can be 10 objects at once, and that somehow felt more like Mesh does today, and then they turned out better. I still don't like them. I
You
will
made
make better
something.
trees in the future. The mesh trees are way better than the sculpty ones.
Are you starting to change your trees over to mesh now?
Not the old ones, but I will make new trees definitely. I'm working on a new garden right now, and I need like 10 different trees and rocks and everything. There will be a whole collection of new things.
So you're going to completely change the look of the garden.
Yeah, I've done that in the past so many times, like 4 times now, and this one really is there since some time. It's just
I'm
I
very
had more time, and with just sculpties it was just faster. No mesh takes so long. But there will be a new one, and there will be a new one after that.
That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be able to have a studio there, aren't we? Because
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have
of
the
course.
Designing World studio.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
will remake it probably, but there will be a place for it.
I'm just terrified that when you lift up the studio, you're going to see all the crap that over the years we have shoved thoughtlessly into the water. So
Not only the
there's about
water, there's a lot of
20
stuff flying in
screens.
the air. No, but I don't care. We got brooms left. Oh, have you
So,
seen that? Huge
hey,
dragon.
there's Flea. I think it's Flea.
That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's a very impressive dragon. I think it's Flea Bussy of Grendel's.
Oh, really?
Well, I saw him appear briefly on my radar. So either
Never met him in
he's
person, but I've been at Grendel's Children so many times. That was like my favorite shop.
it's a great shop. Okay, so is yours. I does everyone here know what a dream scene is? Do you all have you all come across the dream scenes? Or would you like a quick
Bird knows.
explanation? The dream scenes are a system of interconnected, usually skyboxes. You usually keep them in the sky, and each of them is a complete environment. And Carl has this wonderful system that allows you to change from one scene to another just by leaping into a pretty little bubble.
Yeah,
And
I don't know if I can show you one. The smallest one is 40 by 40 meters, and I have no idea how big that spot is here.
we can actually use the stage downstairs, I think. If we wanted to go downstairs, we could probably try resin things out there. This bit is small, but maybe we could have. I mean, I've
Yeah,
got them all, so I can.
I think you have to rest something.
Yeah.
I
Well, if you
don't.
make,
I
if you
can't.
recommend,
Um. Well, maybe something that is not that trimmy and too detailed. We could just dress that news scene, the ballroom.
The ballroom. Okay. Would you like to see a scene? Well, yes, going to Kayle's store and exploring is definitely the best way, and I certainly recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, that would be the
But
best thing.
so let's talk a bit about your dream scenes. Which was your very first one?
A forest, of course. Just
Aha!
trees, trees and grass and a campfire in the middle. That was the only thing I could think of doing. But
Uh,
it's a freebie now. It's awful. You can see that it's the first.
you've got several freebies now on offer, haven't you? So
Yeah,
people
yeah.
can start their system.
It's like whenever I release a new mesh scene, there's one old scene going to be a freebie because I just can't stand selling that anymore for money. It's really
Oh,
old
that's good.
stuff.
Then we need to encourage you to make more scenes quickly.
Yeah, I should. And I will. Now I've got so many things floating above the garden I work on. Takes
Have
so long to
you,
finish.
of the ones you finished, do you have a particular favourite?
Um, of all old scenes or just the new ones?
Well, of either. Well, okay, let's do both. Of your old
Okay.
scenes, which do you like?
Um, this is a hard question. The problem is I have to like I have to have liked all the scenes very much to just do them in the first place.
Because
But
it's so
I
much work, yeah.
well I love the village, the atelier, um, the whirl, because it's pretty mysterious.
Mm.
I think these three.
Well, the huge whirlpool, that's wonderful.
Hmm.
And you stand on a rock in the middle, and everything spins around you. Yeah, I guess if I'm going to, I mean, I would say the library. I spend quite a bit of time in the library.
Right, I forgot about that.
That's,
But
and then
it's not
there's,
my favorite. Not anymore.
it's
I
not
don't know.
what?
It's not my favorite anymore. I
No,
don't
why
like the
not?
color of the wood. I don't know. I loved it before, but now it's too red. But that might be my wind light setting. It's very orange for
Yes.
people who know the sim.
You've got something very clever with your win light setting. After I leave your sim, it always persists to the next sim I go to, and I've never worked out how you do that.
Well, it's not my fault. It's some SL thingy.
Okay.
But
I
yeah, it's
just wondered, yeah.
but it's you can't look at it for too long. If you like look at it for half an hour and then turn it to midday, then midday is just green. It has like a
Right.
green filter over it, and that's why I started to hate midday, even though it might look normal. But my eyes are so used to orange now. It's horrible.
I know you love orange as a colour, and
Yeah,
yeah.
but I need to
And
get rid of that. It's
you're going to change it now, are you?
I have to. It's changing things too much, and then well for the they look good on my sim, and then for the rest they turn out looking completely different, and I should care about that more.
Okay, I mean, if I'm going to list your scenes, the village, like you, I love the village.
Yeah.
And I've seen that incorporated. This is something that you let people do, isn't it? Your scenes are actually moddable. Hi, Toadie. I can see Toadie's just joined us.
Yeah, I
They're moddable.
there's a mod version of every scene inside these packages, and that's like almost the only reason people buy the scenes, other than that bubble version. But they just love to take out things and mod them to something, and especially the village. I've seen 4 versions of the village. One where it's used as a village cafe with stuff around it, and one of them made it a shop. That's it's not it's the worst scene to mod, but they do it anyway, and they can do it. I don't know how they do it. It could have
Yes.
been made much more easier.
I've we actually ended up using parts of the elements of the library in the Black Mirror. We used it to be we used the library itself as a library in season 1, and in season 2 we used elements from it as the Mad Doctor's study.
Yeah, I've seen that. That was great.
And there's others of yours that perhaps aren't talked about quite so often. Things like the what's I going to say? Things like the Japanese room, which is beautiful. You've got the table, you've got the pool, and you've got the bedroom. And it's a perfect little skybox to actually live in.
Yeah, that was a pretty old one too. I think like 90% of that is just prims, but it's still got that nice water, which was everyone wants that water from that Asian loft, even though it's just a texture I found legally, but I'm giving that away for free all the time. It's just a very nice effect if you put 2 water textures and let them move against each other. I think you can do that with every water texture. It's a nice effect.
It looks lovely. It's very inviting. It's a beautiful setup. So, are you able to tell me what kind of things we can look forward to in the near future from you? I know there was one last time we talked. You had a plan. One build to release.
Well, there's still my spaceship that is in
Yes.
the works since even longer than the atelier, like 1.5 years now. But it's
Right.
almost it was finished half a year ago already. But I'm still redoing all the textures to add normal and specular mapping, and that's taking a lot of time. And while I'm doing that, a new garden that is necessary and will be completely mesh and lag free. It was really the last garden was really not planned to look like that. It's like an exact copy of the Relay for Life sim I was doing, and because I liked it so much and it was so orange, I thought I'd just make that my sim, and that was done in a week, and it hasn't changed since then. But usually I spend more time planning, and I want to do that this time.
I have to say that there are 2 things. I mean, apart from how gorgeous your stuff is, there are 2 practical things that stand out about you. One is how fast you can build at times. You know, you may take a year producing some of the things, but the speed with which you change the design, the speed with which you built the last iteration of Garden of Dreams was just extraordinary. And watching you, and that's still there, because watching you build Wigginstead moorings at this year's Fantasy Fair was just incredible.
Yeah, that was super unplanned, but it's not like that. It's not like I'm fast. It's just that I spend 18 hours a day just working, and then it seems like it's fast.
Right. Wigginstead was so detailed and had so much in it, though. It was just incredible, and you pulled it out of nowhere, it seemed.
Oh, my eyes never get tired. I don't even blink.
That's good. The other thing, of course, as well as occasionally being able to build at tremendous speed and do that sort of thing, is of course your prim counts, your land impact, which is tiny. You make
Yeah,
these
now
amazing things, and they are just really small. Luminaria, for example, was what? It was a full sim, and it was what, 2,500?
around 2,000 to 3,000. Yeah, it was
Uh,
really I before Luminaria I hated Mesh because I thought that you would never be able to make something um sculpty like you did a lot of things with sculpties and a lot of objects, and it was always just one prim, and I thought I could never do that in Mesh. But it looks like the more you add to one object in Mesh, the less prims it gets, and there's things with LOD, but you can really make it low prim. And the bigger it gets, the more low prim it can be. It's weird, but I'm a fan now.
so, what sort of things are you using to create mesh?
Um, it's
Are
a
you a
mixture out of.
Blender fan or a Maya
No.
fan?
Oh no, I hate Blender. It's way too complicated. I'm using Maya, which sounds complicated, but it is not. I was just working a lot with it in the past, and it's the easier choice for me. But it's like a mixture of four programs. I'm using ZBrush 2 and a program called 3D Code, and for textures it's Quixels, NDA, and DDA, and um, Photoshop, of course.
Mm.
I
Do
gotta,
you,
I
do you,
gotta,
mhm.
I gotta spend some time learning new programs to stay in. I don't know the word. You continue. You know
to
what I mean.
stay to stay in competition with the others?
Yeah, yeah. Not just in Second Life, but out of Second Life too. I'm always afraid that Second Life um is ending any second, and then I
Mm.
gotta go back to making Nintendo 3DS games. I gotta be up to date for that, yeah.
So, following on from that, what do you think of the fact that Linden Lab are now talking about Second Life, the new generation?
You didn't even know that I knew about that. That could have been such a surprise for me now. I just found out like 2 days ago. But um I still don't know. I think they released that info way too early.
Mm.
And I'm kind of afraid that everyone is going to freak out now. But I know that I will definitely be in that new world as soon as it's there, and I think a lot of people will be. But I
Mm.
will never stop working here, and I can't stop working here. So I will just continue until there's something new, and I think even if there's something new, I will continue doing both things at the same time. And well,
Let's say.
we gotta wait. I think I've read we got a year to beta, and
Mhm.
that's enough.
So, you think that Second Life is definitely going to continue and be a valid environment for quite a while?
Um, I actually heard today that this is the plan, and that we don't have to worry. It will. There's no plan to shut down Second Life in the next 5 years,
Mm.
and I don't think they will. We're fine.
Oh, that
But
sounds
I'm
healthy. I mean,
generally
then,
happy to hear that there is a new Second Life coming in. I'm looking forward.
because of course, it gives us a chance to have all the new technology and all the new goodies.
Yeah, and well, they said that there will be no focus on backwards compatible blah blah.
Ability,
But
yeah.
yeah, but I hope we can at least take our avatars with me, because I even though I hate my name, I rather be me than someone else again. That has
Do you
been
feel
like,
that? Mm, I hope they don't make us all have a single name when we go to the new place.
yeah, I don't know. That would be stupid.
That would be so sad if I lost my Widdershins.
Hmm. But I hope we
So
can celebrate ourselves, because I will do that.
you say you don't like your name. What do you not like about it?
It's the Matzerath
Mm-hmm.
thingy. It's no one can. Well, it's both parts. No one knows how my first name is spoken out. They say Kayle, Kayle, Kyle, and everyone is asking. And I don't know myself. And Matzerath
I
is just a German literature figure from some book, and it just sounded like a last name I had in some other game. And I was never supposed to stay in Second Life more than half an hour. So, so I just made
it's been
that
a
name
long
very
half
fast.
hour.
Mm.
It's been a very long half hour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I tried to find a name that was close to my own real name, and then when I made an alt, I kept the same surname and had the name Saffia. Saffia being, of course, an alt, but the original just does some business work here. She doesn't do anything else yet.
I got one alt that. Well, I think when I started the Second Life, I stopped being in there for half a year, and when I came back, I couldn't remember my password or something. I made an alt, so he's pretty old too. But I've never used him for anything else. But being my um female NPC to sit
Mm,
on post walls with me when I'm making scenes.
right. And test things out for you.
Yeah, I've never been that null person.
You pack all your dream scenes with hundreds of images. I mean, hundreds of animations. There's all sorts of stuff in every dream scene that you make, um, and some of them are quite adult too. But I gather that you're planning on making PG versions of
Yeah,
dream
I should have
scenes.
I should have done that so many times before. But the Atelier version should have had some in it already. But it's not that difficult to add new ones,
Mm,
to add new PG versions of the old scenes. I just have to get to it. But I think it's important to have some adult things in my
mm.
stuff. They would
Yeah,
demand it anyway.
I tend to find that I don't often hit on the adult stuff, because I'm just looking for somewhere to sit or something. So anything else, I just tend to ignore.
Yeah, you
She
would be
says
surprised
innocently.
where I put animations in and what objects. It's crazy.
Okay, yeah. You're almost tempting me now to go onto a hunt for ridiculous animations hidden away. I love some of the things you've got already, like in the atelier, how you can click on the gramophone and start dancing.
That was a nice gimmick, yeah. My scripter was I was just telling him that he should script me, that if you click it, the the record should rotate. But it wasn't enough, and so we added. Well,
I
the
think it
music had to
works.
be there too, and that little dance was just a tip.
It's very cute. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move towards the end of the talk now, and it's been great talking to you, Kayle, and it's been great fun. But first, before we wrap it up, I'm going to say, does anyone have any questions that they're aching to ask? Anything you'd like to know about the dream scenes, how they're made, or about Kayle's work?
I think they know everything.
We've been very informative. Yeah, that's a question
I wish I
I
could
was
tell you,
restraining.
but it has to be in this year.
That would be nice.
It's definitely the next scene, so it will come out very fast.
Right. I think it's a marvelous addition to.
It's
I
a
think it's
metal
a
base,
marvelous addition. Yeah, to have something kind of futuristic.
but I like the organic idea too.
Well, yes.
It was supposed to be a Halloween project when I made it. Halloween 2013. That's what I made it for. It was going to
Right.
be like a horror spaceship with a lot of shock effects and things like that, but it never made it to that. Maybe Halloween this year. This
I
month
think
could be
it's.
hard. I got 6 days left. Challenge
Yes.
accepted.
How about July?
I'm going to try. I really can't promise.
I think there's huge enthusiasm here for seeing your spaceship. I
I want to
I
see myself.
I would love to see an office scene actually, because you design so well and so beautifully that if you had an office scene, it would just make the perfect business office.
Huh. That would be something new, yeah. However, I think I've never done something serious.
Well, you could make a naughty version of it too. There are
Yeah, yeah.
plenty of people who would love an adult version of an office, I think.
I'll put it on the list. I have a huge list of things.
Okay, so let's see what would we all like Kayle to make? What would
Oh
be
yeah,
our
I can
dream
just
dream
copy
scene?
paste that in my list.
Does anyone have a dream scene? Okay.
I think I can add some Firefly and Serenity stuff into that spaceship that is already there. But I've only watched the movie. I know the show is good. I've heard.
It was very good. One of the
Still gotta
great
do
lost
some
shows.
Doctor Who stuff.
That's very popular on the grid.
Hmm.
Okay. So, any more questions?
I do.
Yeah, does he? No phone boxes, right. Remove phone boxes from your list.
I think there has been enough, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of Doctor Who stuff out on in Second Life.
Wow,
Okay.
I'm so glad it's not 3 a.m. I
Yes.
thought this interview is at 3 a.m. tonight. No, I
3
still got
a.m.
time.
his time. Yeah.
Hmm.
And no, it was actually 2 p.m. SLT. So okay, Kayle, thank you so much for talking to me today. It's been
You're
great
welcome.
fun as
Thank you for having me.
always to talk to you. And this show is being recorded and will be broadcast by MetaWorld Broadcasting in the near future.
Thanks for coming.
Now, there are going to be more talks today at 4 p.m. Tarlin Gravois will be talking to Alessio Ember of Caradron's Cauldron. And at 5 p.m., I'm going to be talking to the horses and riders of SL Dressage, who are going to put on a very special equestrian display for us. And there are talks going on all this week. Most of them, lots with designers and community people and artists, and a few little specials too. On Thursday, I've just been talking to and working out. Thursday at 1 p.m., I'm going to be talking to Jessica Lyon, the creator, the person behind Firestorm, about the new generation Second Life.